All right, so we're going to be continuing our journey with quadratic equations. And so we talked about solving by graphing, solving by factoring, and solving using completing the square. Went through a couple examples of those. So now we're going to talk about the quadratic formula. And so if we have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, as long as a is not equal to 0, because if it is equal to 0, then that's linear, we get this formula. And so hopefully you guys remember the song, and I'm going to sing it even though I'm on a video, where you say x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's one way you can remember that. All right, so going back to that equation we keep hitting on, if we look at this, we've got an a value of 1, a b value of -6, and a c value of -16. So we went ahead and plugged this in. So notice in the front, it says x is equal to -b. Truly, we should say opposite b, because the opposite of that -6 is going to be a +6. So then on the inside, this -6 squared is 36. And over here, -4 times 1 is -4 times -16 is +64. So if we keep going, 36 and 64 make 100. The square root of 100 is 10. And so that means that we either have 6 plus 10 over 2, which is 16 over 2, or we have 6 minus 10 over 2, which is -4 over 2. And so like we've seen in the other couple of examples, we get x is equal to 8 or x is equal to -2. All right, so if we take a look at this equation, we have an a value of 1, we have a b value of 5, and we have a c value of 20, okay? So we're going to say x is equal to, I don't know where that came from, so we're going to say -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right. So as I start to clean this up, we get x is equal to -5 plus or minus the square root of, so in my calculator, I can just go ahead and type that in just to make it a little quicker. So I'm going to say 5 squared minus 4 times 20, and that gives me -55. So you'll notice we've solved this before, and that's all over 2. And so then notice I can't simplify the 55 any further, but remember we talked about I can pull out that negative and call it an I. So we get -5 plus or minus I root 55 all over 2. And so that matches what we said when we talked about the solving using completing the square. So then something I just want to make a note of, because we're going to come back to this, is we ended up with 2 imaginary solutions. Okay, so just take a moment to write that down. We'll come back to that in a minute. All right, so take a moment. Notice we have solved this before, but just take a moment to pause the video and see if you can solve it using the quadratic formula. All right, so I have an a value of 3, I have a b value of 1, and I have a c value of -2. So we get x is equal to -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac. I always have to pause for a moment there. All over 2a. All right, so we get that answer. And so cleaning this up, we get x is equal to -1 plus or minus, and then in our calculators, if we do 1 squared minus 4 times 3 times -2, we get +25 all over 6. And so the square root of 25 is 5, right? So that means that I have x is equal to -1 plus 5, which is 4 over 6, and that reduces to 2/3. And then I have x is equal to -1 minus 5, so -1 plus -5 gives me -6 over 6, and so x is equal to -1. And that matches exactly what we got when we did solving by completing the square. So what I want you to notice is we have 2 real solutions here, And even further, I didn't end up with any radicals in there, so they're actually rational as well. And so I want to remind you, to be rational, we have the word ratio in it. It means that I can make it a ratio of two integers. So we can see -1 was a ratio of two integers, and 2/3 is a ratio of two integers. All right, so go ahead and try this one. Pause the video. So we have an A value of 4, a B value of 6, and a C value of -3. So in this case, we're gonna say A equals, but recognize this A that we're talking about in the question is different than the A that we're talking about in terms of quadratic formula. So we're gonna say A is equal to -B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC, pause, all over 2A. Okay. So when we work this out, we get A is equal to -6 plus or minus, and then in my calculator, I'm going to do 6 squared minus 4 times -3, and that gives me 84. Okay, now you might be tempted to want to cancel the 6 with the 8, but remember I've been showing you examples that when you have addition in the middle, you can't cancel it. I have to be able to factor it out of the entire numerator. But I do happen to notice that 84 can be simplified inside that radical. So what you want to try to do is come up with perfect square numbers. So remember, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. We want to see if any of these are factors of 84 so that I can factor it out. So I notice that this is 4 times 21. So that means that this is the square root of 4 times the square root of 21, which gives me 2 root 21. So coming back over here, we get A is equal to -6 plus or minus 2 root 21 all over 8. So before I box that and say that that's my final answer, I notice that I have two even numbers now in that numerator. So I can factor a 2 out of there. And so I'm left with 2 times what gives me -6, so that's -3. And 2 times what gives me 2 root 21, and that would be the square root of 21. And that's all over 8. So now I have multiplication between that 2 and that parentheses. So I can say 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. And so we get A is equal to -3 plus or minus the square root of 21 all over 4. So what I want you to notice is we do have two real solutions. There's no i's in our answer, but this time it's not rational anymore because I couldn't get rid of that radical, so it's two real irrational roots. And again, we'll come back to that idea in just a moment. So we want to talk about what is it that makes our answers real? What makes them imaginary? What makes them rational? And what makes them irrational? And what we learn is it's that number inside of the radical that is making those decisions. Because, for example, if it's negative, a negative inside the radical is going to be imaginary. So the numbers inside the radical are b squared minus 4ac, and we call that the discriminant. And of course, the computer's not helping me. All right, so note, we're not talking about the radical, we're talking about just the number on the inside. So don't have the radical as part of your answer. So we said if that discriminant is less than 0, meaning the discriminant is negative, then that means that we have two distinct imaginary roots. And distinct means that they're different. So remember before when we were talking about how many times a function could cross the x-axis, sometimes you bounce because you have the same 0 twice. And so this is saying, no, it's not the same 0 twice, it's two different zeros that happen to be imaginary. If it's equal to 0, then there's exactly one real rational root. That would be one of those bounce situations where it's the same one twice. So really we would only list one real rational root. And then if it's greater than 0, we have two distinct real roots. But the question is, once I know it's real, it could be rational or it could be irrational. So if it happens to be a perfect square, then we have two rational roots. But if it's not a perfect square, then we have two irrational roots. So if you haven't caught up to me yet, just pause the video for a second, and I'm going to flip over and talk about some of the examples we just did. So coming back to example E, I wanted to show you that the discriminant is this number inside of the radical. So if you notice, 55 is greater than 0. So that means that we had, sorry, let me come back to that. I circled the wrong thing. Over here, before we actually simplified, we had negative 55. So let me make this correction. So do we see that negative 55 is less than 0? And so that means that I have two distinct imaginary roots. And that's why we were able to factor out that I right there. When we look at example F, back at this original radical right here, we had 25 inside the radical. So because 25 was greater than 0, we have two real roots. And then we also noticed it was a perfect square, so I could get rid of the radical. So it's not just two real, it's two real and rational roots. So looking at example G, we ended up with 84 inside of our radical. So, whoa, that's crazy. So my discriminant was 84, and 84 is greater than 0. So that's what tells me I have two real roots. And then the fact that it's not a perfect square, 81 is a perfect square, and then 100 is a perfect square, but not 84. That means I'm never going to be able to get rid of that radical, so it's two real irrational roots. Okay, so then if we take a look at this one, so notice at first it doesn't ask me to solve first, it asks me to solve after I make my predictions, okay? So if we take a look, we have A is equal to 1, we have B is equal to -4, and we have C is equal to 15. So my discriminant is just what's inside the radical, so the B squared minus 4AC. Again, no radical as part of my answer. So that means my discriminant is going to be -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 15. And so if I plug that into my calculator, don't forget the parentheses on that -4, otherwise you're going to get the wrong answer. So you're going to do parentheses, -4, close your parentheses and squared, minus 4 times 1 times 15, and I get a discriminant of -44. So then using that discriminant to describe the nature of the roots, I notice that -44 is less than 0. So that tells me that I have two distinct, which we don't have to write the word distinct, but two distinct imaginary roots. Again, you don't have to write the word distinct. Okay, so it says use the discriminant. Well, we found that. To describe the nature of the roots, well, we just did two distinct imaginary roots. And then the last thing says to go ahead and solve. So the nice thing is I don't have to do more work finding the discriminant. I'm doing the same amount of work. I just did a little bit over here that I could plug in. So we could say x is equal to -b plus or minus the square root of, and I've already done b squared minus 4ac because that's my discriminant. So I've got -44 in here. And that's going to be over 2a, which is 2 times 1. So let's figure a couple things out. First off, I can say the opposite of -4 is +4. And then this -44, I'll try and do it over here. So I notice that it's -1 times, and then 44 has a perfect square, which is 4 that goes into it, times 11, right? So if I take the square root of each of these, that's going to give me the square root of -44. So the square root of -1 is I, the square root of 4 is 2, and I don't know the square root of 11. So we're going to say plus 2I times the square root of 11 all over 2. Now remember, we can't just cancel the 4 and the 2 because I have addition and subtraction in the middle. But I do notice that I have even numbers up top. So I can call this 2 times, and then we get 2 plus or minus I root 11 all over 2. Okay, so the 2's cancel, leaving me with 2 plus or minus I root 11. So I have a couple more examples that I'm going to finish with you in part 3.